to me, just have a seat, relax and get comfortable, put up your feet. I've been dying to know what's on your mind, what's been going on, it's been too long. So grab you a drink and start spilling the tea. It's easy to see that I just love your energy. So go ahead and tell all, I'm so glad you called, cause I'm here for it all. I'm here for it, yeah, I'm here for it, yeah. I got you, you know all your secrets safe with. Here for it, here for it, here for it all.
It's your girl Tiffany D, and you're watching Sip and Dish. Rising from the lively city of Baltimore, Maryland, R&B group Ruff Endz burst into the music scene in 1994. The duo, which consists of David DaVinci Chance and Dante Jordan, met in high school where they formed a quartet. The two soon found chemistry between their voices and decided to team up on their own, naming themselves Ruff Endz, based on the difficulty of securing a record deal. Their luck eventually turned after one of their recording projects was heard by executives at Epic. After signing with Epic Records in 1999, the duo started working on their debut album entitled Love Crimes, which was released on August 22, 2000. The album's first single, No More, became an instant hit on the R&B and pop charts, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B charts. In 2001, they released the first single called Cash, Money, Cars, Clothes from their sophomore album. But it wasn't until their single Someone to Love You that they really had a huge crossover hit. Due to some issues with their label, the duo decided to take a break in 2003, but they are back with a brand new album entitled Rebirth, which released in 2021, with top singles Be the One, Congratulations, and Hopeless lighting up the airwaves once again.
All right, there we go.
Hey.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, David.
How are you, darling? I love the background. You know what I mean? This is I like that background you got popping on. You know what I mean? The foreground and the background is looking very nice.
Thank you so much. You know how to do something special for y'all today. You know how to give you a little fun time.
Love it. Indeed.
David, I caught you after the dentist appointment.
Yes, you did. I thought it was gonna be a little longer. They was gonna have me in there longer since that pandemic. I missed a couple of appointments during the pandemic. So luckily they was able to get me in and get me out of there. You know, that little music thing kind of help out a little bit when they know you somebody or something. You know, like, hey,
exactly.
How's that new album coming, Mr. Chance? I'm like, it's coming real good. I got some interviews at 1:30. You think you can get me out of here? He's like, don't worry, I got you.
Let's go. Exactly.
Let's go.
Well, guys, I'm gonna jump right in, and I'm gonna take full advantage of all my 15 minutes because
yes, ma'am.
I've been waiting.
You can go ahead to the end, you know what I mean, till it's time to roll.
Let's do that. Let me give y'all a proper introduction. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Tiffany D with Sip and Dish. And if you guys don't know about my channel, Sip and Dish is where we sip a little something, whatever you choose, and then we dish a little bit of tea. It's very laid back, very positive, We just want to get some life updates, and have fun while doing it. So today with me, I have a group that is legendary, and I know you guys are going to be super excited for. We have Dante, Chi, Jordan, cousin of Michael Jordan, up in here. We got to make sure you get your shoes too. That's another. And then we got David DaVinci Chance in the building, and they are known as Ruff Endz. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, darling.
Thank you for fitting me into your busy schedule. And before we started, we were talking about quarantine and David, you going to the dentist because of quarantine and stuff. And so I always like to start my interviews by asking, how is your mental during this time? How are y'all feeling during this time, especially with everything going on, in the world as a whole, but specifically to our people? The pandemic, has it been, for a lot of people, it's been a blessing, especially creatives. So has it sort of been like a blessing this time to focus on music? Just how are you feeling overall?
First of all, shout out to everyone dealing and battling with mental health. I'm a big advocate for mental health and for autism. It's definitely a hard time. It's definitely a hard time for a lot of people. And you're right. For creatives, it's in a way, it's probably kind of a blessing in a way. But at the same time, it's probably a little hard for all of us. Definitely for entertainers, because our world has changed, like in a matter of weeks or whatever you want to call it. Like, you know, go from shows about to pop off, tours about to pop off, and we got this Kings of R&B thing we was about to do with Montel and Keith Sweat and all of this crazy stuff, and boom. You know what I'm saying? So it's that aspect. It's like, okay, stuff is dropping in your lap, and you gotta reform your life, your plan around the world, basically around, you know, how to maneuver, how to take care of the kids, how to eat, make money, still feed your craft and your creativity. So it's put it like this. It's a challenge, but in ways I think it's a healthy challenge. It makes people, I think it's making people pay more attention to their health, to their family, to their kids, stuff like that, you know, so.
Yes, in a way it kind of is bringing people together. It's sort of forcing people together in a way that we didn't have time to do before.
Right.
Fact. How have things changed for you?
Say it again?
How have things changed for you, like during this time?
For me, it's definitely been, and I'm gonna speak personally. I'm a workaholic, so you know, I always stay busy doing something or being productive. But you know, I'm one of those people that it takes time. You know, like over time, I will see how something's affecting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I would say, after a year in the pandemic, you know, and the whole, you know, everything that's going on, especially with Black people and all of that combined, it has definitely been affecting me. I don't know, I'm just different, you know. I know it's like a stress that's on me. It's like a worry, you know what I mean? That it's like there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Worried about what's going to happen in the world, like what's going on. Do I need to just drop this album and just go on a mountaintop and say, Lord, I'm here. I'm just going to pray until you come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It's just the uncertainty of what's going on in the world with our people, combined with COVID-19 and a lot of the stories around COVID. You know, you got a lot of people that are being affected by it, and then there's a lot of factual information about it, about these tests that's not being, it's all kinds of stuff that makes me worried, you know what I mean? Because it's coming from a government that has lied to me my whole life about who I am. So why, I won't trust my friend if I have a friend that lied to me 2 times, I'm not even listening to nothing they say.
Exactly.
But we have a government that has lied to us, like, I've lost count. Like, you got pages and pages and pages upon lies. So it's like, that's worrisome to me about what's going to happen to us as a people. But at the same time, I feel more than ever connected to Black people around the world, more than ever in my entire life. And that is that's like counteracting feeling. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel warm. It makes me feel connected. But now I still have the burden of worrying for my people of what's going to happen and what is happening to us and what's the real agenda behind killing people after you know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen it on the internet yourself, so why are you still doing it? You know what I mean? So that baffles me, why it's even still happening. And so, I mean, it's been worrisome, but I have a spiritual life, and all I can do is pray to the God that has given me my talents, given me my abilities, given me life,
Okay, now.
And that's what I turn to.
Yes, and I know exactly what you mean to because I feel the exact same way. It's a very conflicting feeling. And so you're right, I always turn to my spirituality. and try to pull the positives out of it, because I don't really want to become submerged in the negative energy that I feel, the somberness that I feel. And so that's why I'm so happy that like you guys came out with this album, and artists from, you know, that I used to listen to back when I was younger are now starting to like really come out with some real R&B, some real music, some soul music that really touches people. And so that's why I think it's so important that especially now you guys are back, because there's no sound like it. I always say like I am such like a 90s, early 2000s R&B, like real R&B type of vibe.
Yeah.
And so when Sammy came out with an album, when Avant came out with his new album, when Raheem DeVaughn came out again, and I was just like, yes, come back, we need you. So
Yeah.
you guys came back, and I want to turn it to like just like a positive note for the new generation coming up that's going to be listening to your music now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give them a little background, because you guys have like this interesting story of sort of like how you met, how you came together. And I just want to give the people like a little brief history on how you guys became Ruff Endz.
Awesome.
When we started out?
Yep, and sure.
First of all, shout out to all the artists, man. Shout out to all our peers. I'm talking about the ones that came out when we came out, the new ones, Lucky Day, all of these dope artists that's out here right now. Shout out to everyone, because we are part of this exclusive club where we write and sing the soundtrack to people's lives. So shout out to all of those, everybody, male, female, group, solo artists, whatever the case is. So going back in the day, we grew up in the same neighborhood. My family was like, you know, comparing it to especially comparing it to David's, my family was like, you know, bunch of hustlers, you know, hood, you know what I mean? Nah, I mean, what's good? That's why I be trying to fight those little you know what I'm saying? You know, because I grew up around it all my life. So, and David's family was a church family in the neighborhood. Just give away clothes, and used to have a soup day. Soup Mondays or something, David? Something like that. So I have soup and all that kind of stuff. So when I got to high school, which I really wasn't in high school, you know, this is not to encourage anybody like to do nothing different, but I was in the streets, you know what I'm saying? It's just our way of life in Baltimore, surviving. That's just the way it was, you feel me? So I was in the streets real heavy, Emerson and Monroe, but I always had this pact and this deal with my mom to get my papers. We called them our papers, which was diploma. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what I did, whatever the case, whatever I got into, she wanted me to stay safe, and she wanted me to make the right decisions as much as I could and to get them papers. That was our agreement. So it came time for high school. The first year I didn't go. Like they didn't have all my paperwork. And it was a lot going on. Second year I got to school. I think the first day I came to school, no, it was the first day. First day I came to school. When you come into school, it was real big. The foyer to the school is real big, so it got this acoustic sound to it, right? So little sounds in the back will carry, like when it reaches that hallway. I could hear David playing the piano and singing when I walked in the door. This is before all the classes is upstairs, for real. The music room and JROTC was like on that first level. That's the only class that was on that first level. So instead of going upstairs, I go down the hall to the music room. I peep in the room. I look through the little glass.
There you go.
It was only like 4 people in there. I'm like, it wasn't no teachers in there. So I walk in. And I know David. I know his face. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's good? I give him the head nod. He give me the nod back. I know he know my face. I know his face from our neighborhood. So I go sit in the chair, and they singing and stuff, and he teaching them harmonies, and they getting stuff together. And I'm like, yeah, this sound good. So you're like, you sing? I'm like, yeah, I sing a little something. I do a little something.
Slam.
I wind up singing, like freestyling something. He like, yeah, you sound good, whatever. So literally from that moment, we linked up. We linked up from high school. the group didn't stay together in high school. Shout out to Ronnie Henson and my boy Al and David Bullerhead. But the group didn't stay together. And throughout the years, we had different groups, different members. 'Cause we wanted that 4-part harmony. That was our thing. Like Jodeci,
Yes.
Commission, Boys and Men, Take 6, all these crazy harmonies. That was out. And David family, they all sing. So harmonies all day around his house. Like he cheating. He was just cheating with the harmony. You know what I mean? He knew it from birth. You know what I mean? So so throughout the years, the groups, we went through our levels, our members in and out of the group. One point of our life, we came to the point where it was like the last straw, I would say. The last straw we was a 3-man group. It wasn't going good at that point. You know what I mean? The rehearsals wasn't happening how they should. The growth in the group wasn't happening how we should. The meeting up when it wasn't happening how we should. So a great friend of ours, Bruce Scola, his name was Scola De Niro, from the Second Coming of Drew Hill. A great friend of ours, lived right next door to me.
Wow.
To run up, same neighborhood, the whole everything. Bruce Scola was somebody that we had a chance to be influenced by from young. And a lot of people probably don't have a great influence like we did in Bruce Scola. Bruce Scola, he was young cat, a little older than us, but a young cat in the neighborhood. He had songs on the radio, album, selling it out the trunk, like whole album was banging, both radio stations banging his joint, and he's in town doing a video. And Chris Robinson is the this was before Chris Robinson was really big, but he was still kind of known. Was in town on this video. And we like, yo, we can do this. Like, we can really do this. So make a long story short, Bruce Scola came to us one day. He was like, yo, listen, man, y'all can do it with just y'all. He was like, I know y'all fixed on the thing of having this group. And things ain't working out, man. But to me, y'all like 2 peas in a pod, man. I rock with y'all. I rock with y'all hard body. I think y'all would kill a game with just y'all 2.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can kind of say from that moment on the corner of Monroe and Franklin in front of the church that's still standing, over 100-something years old church. That was just a moment. That was a moment that we took it seriously to another level as far as Ruff Endz. And we wasn't even Ruff Endz then. We was just Dave and Brown.
Right.
And we took it serious to the point like, yo, we can do this and we're gonna do this. Forget all the people talking about dreams and you chasing a dream and all of this crazy mess. So
and I know that y'all said to yourselves, we will never miss another opportunity with Patty.
Right. Yeah. You ain't lying. You ain't lying about
I remember that story.
Oh yeah, the Patti LaBelle. Indeed.
Yes, I remember that. I know y'all don't want to do that again.
Exactly. And that was part of the, like what he was talking about, the missing opportunities with other guys and people that it wasn't sure about what they wanted to do, you know what I mean? So, when you make a decision to decide, it's like homicide, pesticide, you know what I mean? It's to kill off, you know what I mean? So when we made a decision, which is basically us deciding, it's to kill off all other alternatives, if you will, you know what I mean? And that's why we're here. So as young people, I mean, anybody listening, make a decision, you know what I mean? Just go ahead and make that decision, man, because it changes everything.
And then stick to it and be consistent. And just like Dante said, don't ever let no one tell you that it's just a dream. It's a pipe dream. If you stand strong in your convictions and you're consistent and and have the belief in yourself, then you can make anything possible that you want. It's the power of the mind and it's the power of the tongue. So I'm glad that the 2 of you really stuck with it. And what I attribute to like the era of Boyz II Men and Ruff Endz and like even like Joe and Case, I think about like sort of like this golden age or this golden era of like the height of R&B music. And so I think about like the progression of it and what it was like then and what it is like now. So how does the journey, I guess, differ from when you guys first came out to now making music today? Like, what do you think about like the progression of music and sort of this journey that you guys have for, first of all, almost 21 years in the game? First of all, just take this down, because you know what? Whatever. Almost 21 years in the game, like that's major. That's major. And so I'd like to know like how you guys think that it's changed over the years, and are you a fan?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely changed, that the business has changed, you know what I mean? Like T.I. was saying that, you know, you have, before it was artists used to, you know, we would create something and we would have a lot more leverage in what we create as far as being able to make money on it. Now, basically, you have corporations that create these devices and a technology, and now, you know, people get access to your music and they pay you. It's kind of like it's changed in that way. Like we don't have as much control, I would say, in how things are. And of course, the technology has impacted, you know, how people were actually, I guess artists were sought after. Like the A&R aspect is gone, you know what I mean? So you have people really looking at, a lot of the A&Rs are looking at really how many stats you got, how many followers you have. That's more of a primary thing. And then talent is kind of like secondary, you know what I mean? So you know, so it's changed the dynamic in those ways a lot. Of course, radio stations have changed in the sense of, you know, back in the day, you could just take your song to the radio station at one point, and if they liked it, they'll put it on. Now you can't do that. They have to call corporate, you know what I mean? And it's more corporatized. So it's just a different situation all the way around.
Yes.
But the internet has definitely made it accessible for everybody to reach fans, which is a plus. So you have a lot of disadvantages, but there's still some advantages. And it's just totally different. And I think we're the kind of guys that's going to evolve. We're not going to stay, you know, we're going to stay as far as our sound, but as far as like how we did things in the 90s, we realize it's changed and we've got to kind of move with the time. So for us, it's just educating ourselves and surrounding ourselves with a great team, which is allowing us to actually proceed in this new era of music, man. So shout out to our manager, Terry Harvey. Shout out to our label, SRG, and the whole Ruff Endz team that's been supporting us, man. So
that's
and the fans, of course.
One thing I do want to speak on before we get off this topic.
Sure.
Touch on it a little bit, because I know we got a lot of upcoming artists probably watching, and is going to see this interview. Definitely for me, one of the major things that have changed is definitely the merger of hip hop and R&B, and the lack of A&Rs. The importance of the A&Rs, I think, is a lot of what we're seeing, a lot of what the fans are seeing. A&Rs, and shout out to Sony Epic, man, for all of that, everything they put into us. So I used to have a lot of little things I did in interviews, with my hands on my face and all this stuff, and to say certain stuff a lot. We had media training.
Mm-hmm.
And I made sure we had media training. We dressed how we felt, which was our perception from Baltimore, which was different to the world. So we had stylists. You know what I mean? We were singers and songwriters, but at the same time we were still developing. So we work with our A&R had us work with different producers to broaden and writers to broaden our sound, to strengthen our sound, to sharpen our craft.
Yeah.
So if anything, leaving off to this part of the conversation, I want to encourage artists to put more into your craft.
Yes.
Because a lot of these people in our era, the reason why some of us seem so well put together on certain parts is because we had people focusing on these problem areas. You know, how you look in the interview, how you sound, what you talk about, how to control the conversation, all of this little stuff. You know, it's like just throwing them out there now. You know, it's like just throwing the artists out and you just land where you land, that type of thing now. So.
Did we lose you?
Focus more on sharpening and honing your craft, you know, even doing interviews, even how you speak, even how you carry yourself in public. So
I agree. And thank you so much for that tidbit, because that is extremely important. And what I've noticed that many new artists, not to hate on y'all, but many new artists lack today is that media training, how to present yourself, how to come as a united front, how to articulate yourself well in an interview, and how to sort of steer the conversation if it's not going the way you want it to go. And I think the lack of that is why we have so many artists now who just say whatever. They're always in some type of trouble because they just say and do whatever, and without a second thought. They're very impulsive nowadays. So thank you so much for that tidbit. I do want to shift for 1 second, because I know that my audience wants to know. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but just very, very quickly, we want to know what happened, yo. I mean, we just want to know what happened when y'all separated, and what was it that brought y'all back together? You could spend 2 seconds on it, but I got to ask,
Exactly.
you know, the followers are going to want to know.
Yeah. So we ain't gonna be long-winded on this one, Dante. We're gonna get right to it, because I know we at that time, but we're gonna give her some extra minutes here.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we parted ways with Sony. Sony let us go free and clear. We didn't owe them anything. Was able to keep our name, which was a great thing. And we actually had people crying at the label. Like it was a real relationship and a real family over there. And they really was kind of sad. It was some people, especially that worked at the label, that was kind of sad that we left. But
the company was dismantling too.
Yeah,
that's what first happened. Yeah.
Yeah, the company was dismantling. Everybody, a lot of people was getting fired. Tommy Mottola, you heard of him? Tommy Mottola. Yeah, he got fired. He got let go. Flows from the head on down. They were like, you know, it's kind of like a new president. You know, the old administration is getting axed, kind of a thing. So,
exactly.
So they let us go, and then we were working on another situation. And that's me and my partner. We parted ways. I had a baby on the way. I went in a totally different direction. I lost my father at the time, so it was a lot going on in my life. And at the time, I just was like, you know, I was pretty much done at the time because of everything that was happening in my personal life. But forwarding it to how we got back, which was amazing. We, first of all, let me say this: me and Dante, we're brothers. We're like family. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's a real Ruff Endz is built on that relationship. You know what I mean? It's not built on just two guys that can sing and let's make a group. A lot of groups that came out, or that was, you know, even on our label at Sony, a lot of those groups were put together from different states. They would say, hey, you know, and we know these two guys, they sing. It's another guy. We want to put y'all together and form a group. Even Drew Hill was put together, you know what I mean, at one point. So they all had different agendas when they first got together. You know what I mean? Ruff Endz wasn't like that. We were like brothers that loved what we did, and music was kind of the centerfold of our relationship. So in saying that, when we got back together, Baltimore City, just to paint the picture, is up, like literally on fire. You know, Freddie Gray passed away. A lot was happening in our city, and we ran into each other by chance. I'm actually driving in the area of Baltimore, and where I run into Dante, and I don't want to take too much time, but it was a divine connection. It was a divine moment, because Dante is on the phone talking to somebody about me, and I'm actually talking about Dante in the car at the same time. And it was really like a crazy story how that happened. The girl on the phone is telling him that, I like the show y'all did the other night. It was cool. The new guy, he's all right. He can sing, but he ain't the original member. Y'all, you got to get that original guy back in the group. Oh. I'm in the car saying, oh, every time I turn, I see somebody that look like Dante. And I'm like, see this guy right here? This even look like Dante. When I say that, it was actually Dante. You know what I mean? It was actually him. I'm like, oh my God, this is Dante. So I pull the car over. I don't even park the car fully. I pull the car over and I start running towards him. He's on the phone, like looks over to the side, because you know when you from around the way, you're always aware of your surroundings. You know what I mean? So he looks over like, oh, hold up. He's trying to get a break in the conversation. Like, David, you talking about David right now? Guess what? You would not believe David is actually running across the field at me right now. And we reunited, and when we got together, it was just again a divine connection, and we got together and did a song called Time for Change, which is really the rebirth of a friendship. And from then on, we decided to make music that will be part of the solution, not part of the problem, because I feel like, and we both feel like, music is nothing influences a society like music. Music is culture, and that's just facts. You know what I mean? Like, we believe that strongly. So it's like, if you can stop talking about killing and this and that, like we got enough war going on, you know what I mean, with the government and different things that's happening. Like, we got to be on the solution side of things. And that's kind of what we did when we got back together. And here we are with a new project that totally represents that.
Yes. And I thank you guys so much. I know we got a late start and you guys got to go because you got a full day of interviews. And so I just want to, of course, you know, I have questions, but that's okay. We're going to get a part two. I just want to quickly say congratulations on the new album. The new album, guys, is called Rebirth. The vocals have not changed. It's uncanny. Like, for 21 years, it's still the same strength, the same soul, the same just beautiful, like, it's a matured, elevated sound, but it's still that same beautiful, soulful, and the connection and the vibe. So definitely make sure you guys go check out the new album. It is out right now. It is called Rebirth. And I just want to leave with this one thing. It'll be one word. I want you to tell me, looking back on your journey together, what is the greatest lesson you either learned about the business or learned about yourselves individually? Extremely short, and then I'll let you guys go.
That's a really good question. I got a couple really good answers, but one that I could say comes from high school. And David, you remember our high school? we actually sung, but it takes me back to the song that still, like a crazy part of a movie, plays in the back of my head every now and then. No man is an island. No man is an island. No man stands alone. No man is an island. No man stands alone. At the time, the song was so corny, like the words in it. I mean, not the words, but just the melody. The song itself hit home then and it hit home now. It hits home now. It's like every time we think all our peers, every time we think the people we've dealt with, even the people that did us wrong, you know what I'm saying? Everything in our life up to this point let us know that we can't do it by ourselves. Our fans, we got fans that promote and push our stuff out just as hard as we do. You know what I'm saying? Go and get t-shirts and masks made. Like, we ain't got crazy million followers, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it still brings you back to the point of connection. The connection, how strong it is to connect with people. I could pray about something. I could wish and say, I wish this happened. I pray that this go this way. Or I could call my brother and be like, bro, I need help with this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Me, that's God. That's real. That's what's been proven to me time and time again. It's like, I go get another brother that can sing. He sounds amazing. His range, his riffs is ridiculous. But he's not David.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like, it's so simple, but it's such a huge lesson at the same time. You can't throw people away. You can't belittle nobody. And you can't judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? It's about people. It's about people and connecting, whether it's the beginning of your career, near the end, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We gotta come together.
Yes.
So that's all for me.
Beautifully said. David, you got one word for me?
Purpose.
Purpose.
When you find your purpose, you can do anything. You can accomplish anything. Purpose has been driving me all my life. And with it, everything will fall into place. You know, purpose is the thing that aligns you with your creator. And when you have God on your side, nothing is impossible. And that's it. New album out right now, @official Ruff Endz, Instagram, Facebook, The Real Ruff Endz on Twitter, www.srgstore.com for people that want the physical CD. And so, you know, thank you for supporting the brand. We got new visuals coming for Congratulations, the song Hopeless. The Be The One video is out right now. And we just promoted or just posted the BET performance of us live doing a BET Live special. So go to our page and check that out as well. We got the Ruff Endz documentary coming later this year as well, an in-depth story of our story told by yours truly. And we're excited about everything that's coming down the path. Live shows this summer 2021. Be on the lookout at a stage near you. We love you.
I love you for that because that encompassed like 2 of my other questions that I Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me a little bit of extra time. I appreciate y'all so much. I've been a fan since I was 13 and I'm 34 in 2 weeks, and I'm still a fan to this day. So
girl, you look like you're in your 20s.
I mean, you know.
That's what's up. Well, we got to do this again. We love your energy, and we want to say this to you as well. It's platforms like yours that's vital to R&B. You're like the daggone Claire, you know what I mean? You're like that to the R&B that we know and love. So you're just as important, or if not more important, just as groups like us. So we appreciate what you do for the R&B world, not just Ruff Endz, but for the world of R&B. We love you and thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Best of luck. We'll be talking soon. Thank you guys for joining Sip and Dish, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Have a good
one. Have a blessed one.
You too.